coats of varnish, like I put on here, depending on the color of your background, will streak. Just get it on. Don't work out the streaks. Just get it on, and by the third or fourth coat, you have a beautiful, beautiful finish. One other word of caution. I told you about the deglossing agent that would sink to the bottom of the bottle. What has happened to some people is they do not mix that deglossing agent in well, and eventually the lower part of the bottle of varnish gets heavier and heavier with the deglossing agent. In fact, some people, when varnishing a dark colored object, get white streaks, and they panic because they've just wrecked their painting. No, they haven't wrecked their painting, but it's a large percentage of deglossing agent, and it is streaking white across the surface. To solve that, get a new bottle of varnish. Be sure you have rotated it or shake it up good. Pour out fresh varnish and give this surface that has the white streaks one more coat of varnish. The new varnish will drink up the white streaking of the matting agent and disappear. Just magic. There is a final comment that I wish to make you aware of. When you have done several coats of a water-based varnish over a completed surface, the coats of paint are dry to touch, but they are tender. And for about 24 hours, I prefer to think maybe a day and a half, 2 days. If you pick up the piece and you rub it or start playing with it too much, it is possible to take that tender, dried varnish and start it peeling from the edges. I know it's happened to some of you. Well, just after you finish your last coat of varnish, don't handle the piece. Just set it aside to cure. You consider your water-based products 80% cured in 24 hours. I would be even a little more careful if the piece were metal than wood, because you get evaporation from the top of the metal. You don't get any evaporation into the wooden surface or into a wooden surface. You have a metal surface, and it doesn't evaporate down through the impenetrable metal surface. So don't play with it. Don't handle it if possible for a good 24, preferably 2 days. And it will be cured enough that it can be handled. Now, there is a strange thing that can happen. If you start it peeling, you can actually, it's just like a sunburn, healing sunburn. You can actually take it and peel it. And some people panic and they start peeling it. And sometimes it takes part of the painting, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how dry your painting is. The solution, just try not to handle it. Now, another funny thing is, for a while, and maybe there still is, a drying board that had little needle-like projections on it that you could set your piece on to dry. Well, we discovered that setting a piece on that drying board, those little needle-like projections pinpricked the uncured varnish. Are you with me? And when the person lifted it off of the drying board, it pulled that little needle-like thing pulled the tiniest air bubble. Well, then the person panicked and peeled off the entire surface. So I don't use those drying boards because of that. It's just another problem that you could be introducing into your painting. So let's quickly do an overview. If you're a person who likes to play in the varnish, give the first coat of product on the surface should be clear glaze medium. Then let that dry at least several hours. You can force it with the hair dryer. Then go into your normal varnishing. When you varnish, do a slip, slap, and smooth. Don't go back over it. The first 2 coats may streak, maybe even into the third. It all depends on your climate conditions. But by your 3rd and 4th coat, you should have a beautiful finish. It's a very durable finish, and it should go many, many years outside, inside, with no problems. I'd like to talk to you next about some special finishes. And again, I should remind you, don't play with the piece after it's finished for a good day, day and a half at least, because of the danger of marking your uncured varnish and lifting and starting it to peel.